Well, hey there friends! Before we begin, I want you guys to open up the description of this video and subscribe to my brand new podcast, as well as follow my daily amazing fact account called The Fact Maniac. If you listen to podcasts, we have some really fun conversations over there, and if you like amazing facts, which is the whole reason you're here, you're going to love The Fact Maniac, so go check them out. Okay, now let's begin. Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. A rattlesnake can strike at a speed of 1.8 meters per second, which is one of the fastest known movements by any animal with a backbone. In 2016, 54-year-old Dennis Morin from Quebec swam the Yukon River using a riverboard, a total of 3,200 kilometers in just 75 days. On average, he spent 6 hours a day in the water and only stopped for a total of 10 days to rest. Elephant seal milk is the consistency of pudding and is very oily and high in fat content. That would be why a well-nursed pup grows from 9 kilograms at birth to 68 kilograms in only 3 weeks. Researchers at Virginia Tech have created a sugar-powered bio-battery that has 10 times the energy storage of lithium, which means that your cell phone could actually run on enzymes. According to the US Department of Veterans Affairs, about 7 or 8 out of every 100 people will have post-traumatic stress disorder at some point in their lives, and about 8 million adults have PTSD right now. The very first athlete to be verified on Twitter was NBA star Shaquille O'Neal. In fact, he also announced his retirement from the NBA via a video on Twitter, and that was even before the NBA even knew that he was retiring. A woman's fertility starts to decline in her early 30s, with the decline speeding up after 35. At 40 years old, a woman only has about a 5% chance of becoming pregnant in any month. This is because a woman is born with all the eggs that she's going to have in her lifetime, and as she ages, her eggs age with her, decreasing in quality and number. WD-40 has many uses besides just lubricating metal parts. One of them is to kill roaches and insects, and prevent them from entering your home by spraying windowsills, doors, and screens. In 1997, former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev appeared in a Pizza Hut commercial, along with his 10-year-old granddaughter Anastasia. The commercial used their presence in a Pizza Hut restaurant to suggest that capitalism is better than communism because it makes luxuries like Pizza Hut available. Much like the White House in Washington, the presidential residence in Korea is called the Blue House because approximately 150,000 blue tiles cover its roof. In 2010, remnants of an 18th century ship was found buried just over 6 meters under the World Trade Center site. A 9.8 meter piece of vessel was found while bulldozers excavated a parking garage. Horses need to have passports just like human beings. The White House was originally constructed between 1792 and 1800 by James Hoban, but it was reconstructed in 1815 after being burned down by British soldiers during the War of 1812. There's such a thing as a vinegar eel. It's a 1.6 millimeter long worm that feeds on the live bacteria as well as yeast culture used to produce vinegar. They can be found in unfiltered vinegar and are raised and fed to fish. According to the National Eagle Repository, it is illegal for any individual to possess a bald or golden eagle. That includes its parts. Therefore, the repository provides a location for the distribution of bald and golden eagles that are found dead to the Native American and Alaskan natives, who have for hundreds of years used these parts in religious and cultural ceremonies. The Silence of the Lambs poster, where actress Jodie Foster's face is showing her mouth covered by a moth, features a piece of artwork by Salvador Dali if you look closely. There's a skull on the back of the moth, which is actually 7 naked women posed in the shape of a skull. The 7 women symbolize the victims in the movie. Mosquitoes kill 725,000 people each year, with malaria being the cause of 600,000 of those deaths. Bruce Lee's striking speed from just 61 centimeters away was 5/100ths of a second. The red poppy was one of the only plants to grow out of the otherwise barren battlefields after World War I. This is why it became the flower worn as a sign of remembrance. There's a snail the size of a rat called the giant African land snail. They can eat their way through stucco and plaster, and their shells are sharp enough to puncture a tire if you run over one. They can grow up to 20 centimeters long, reproduce up to 1,200 eggs per year, and can live for up to 9 years. The tentacle snake is one of the only species of snake to possess twin tentacles on the front of its head. The tentacles sense pressure and vibration. Actor Ed O'Neill from Married with Children and Modern Family has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's been studying it for more than 22 years and received his black belt in 2007. Singer Barbra Streisand has an actual mall in the basement of her house. It sells antique dolls, vintage clothing, and shoes, and even costumes from movies. Cashews actually grow on a tree attached to a false fruit that looks like a red apple. The cashew itself is actually a tree's fruit. The apple is also edible, and in Brazil and India, where most cashews grow, they are turned into beverages or jams. This is a Venezuelan poodle moth. Dr. Arthur Anker claims he discovered the species in 2009 in Venezuela. Although he wasn't able to bring a sample species back home, he recreated a model of one pictured here. That is a bold claim. We need proof, sir. Before the Macho Man, Randy Savage, became a wrestler, he was known by his birth name, Randy Poffo, and he played baseball in the Cardinals minor league. There's an ancient temple in the Boyne Valley in Ireland that is older than Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids of Giza. It's called Newgrange, and it was built 5,200 years ago by Stone Age farmers. It's a round grass-covered mound that measures 85 meters in diameter and 13.5 meters high. The scientific term for mammals with hooves are ungulates. A 25-year-old German canoeist named Oscar Speck paddled from Germany to Australia between 1932 and 1939 in a folding kayak just to see the world. It was an over 50,000 kilometer journey. Executive chef and co-owner of the Manila Social Club in Brooklyn, Bjorn Dela Cruz, made a 24-karat gold dusted donut with Cristal champagne, and it cost $100. According to the North American Association of State and Provincial Lotteries, in 2015, Americans spent $70.15 billion on lottery tickets. Sheep don't recognize each other right after they've been sheared. Sometimes they even fight with each other, not realizing that they're the same sheep. Nah. There's a tradition where sailors whose wives give birth while they were away are the first to disembark their ship. The average kitchen chopping board has around 200% more fecal bacteria on it than the average toilet seat. No. Ford has developed a cot that can simulate the motion, engine noise, and even the street lighting of a nighttime drive. It's called the Max Motor Dreams Cot, and it comes to life using a smartphone app that enables it to record and then reproduce the comforting movement, lights, and sounds of a particular journey. It can actually help your baby fall asleep without having to drive around your neighborhood. According to the Guinness World Records, the world's largest gingerbread house was made in Bryan, Texas in 2013. It measured over 18 meters long, 12 meters wide, and 3 meters high. The house was completely edible, and the combination of baking materials and ingredients totaled 35,823,000 calories. There's a fish called the Pancake Bat Fish, which uses foot-like fins complete with elbows to move around the sea floor. By flapping its tail, it can hop across the sand much like a frog. It also has a long nose that can project a lure to trick prey into coming closer to its mouth. Irish sheep farmer and drone enthusiast Paul Brennan uses an RC quadcopter to herd his sheep. The drone's buzzing scares the sheep, and whenever it comes near, they run in the opposite direction. Using this method, Brennan can easily route the herd wherever he wants to go, moving them from one field to another. Voice actor and one-time backup singer for Roy Orbison's Susan Bennett is the voice behind the original female Siri. She was hired by a company called Scansoft to basically record gibberish. The technicians then took all of the sounds and turned them into phrases and sentences, and these were what ended up on our devices. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, in 2014, cigarette and smokeless tobacco companies spent more than $9 billion on advertising and promotional expenses in the United States alone. There's an annual event held at Hampshire College's Amherst, Massachusetts campus where every Easter morning students head into the woods to hunt for kegs of beer. Organized groups of senior students purchase kegs of beer and haul them into the woods and hide them behind rocks and bury them in dirt, etc. Phobia is the fear of gold. People who have this fear may dislike gold because of its appearance or what it represents, such as power or death, or they may even be allergic to it. Raw kidney beans are actually toxic, and ingesting as few as 4 or 5 can bring on symptoms within 1 to 3 hours. Those can include extreme nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. They have a toxic agent in them that's inactivated after they're cooked. NASA has wake-up calls for the astronauts each morning during a space shuttle mission. The recordings are chosen by flight controllers or by the crew members' friends and family. There's a startup called Ambrosia in Monterey, California that will infuse you with blood plasma from teenagers and young adults as an anti-aging remedy. No thanks, I'd rather just get old. Saunas are a way of life for people in Finland. So much so that during World War II, soldiers would actually build their own war zone saunas out of logs and surrounding terrain. They would only use them at night so as to not alert the enemy about their whereabouts. Adolf Hitler gave his soldiers the drug Pervitin, which is a methamphetamine-based drug. The drug was marketed as a pickup pill, which was designed to combat stress and tiredness and create feelings of euphoria. Basically, it was speed. In China, extremely wealthy people can avoid prison terms by hiring body doubles. They literally pay someone else to do their prison sentence. 60-year-old Chinese farmer Huang Yuzhan from the Guangdong province in China built a replica of the space shuttle and put it on the roof of his house. A mouthful of seawater can contain millions of bacterial cells, hundreds of thousands of photoplankton, and tens of thousands of zooplankton. And that's all this time for the Knowledge Whale. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and don't forget to go subscribe to my brand new podcast on all platforms, whatever you want. Apple, Google, Spotify, SoundCloud, all platforms, it's out there. As well as follow my daily amazing fact account called The Fact Maniac. You guys are gonna love it, I promise. I'll see you next time.